All right, so first and foremost, good afternoon, Cadet.
Good afternoon, man. What's happening?
All good, man. How's things happening for you?
Everything's going well, just working hard, man. Everything's going good.
I think I'm working hard, yes. I think you're doing more than good.
Oh, thank you, man.
I mean, you must, like, we were speaking, we were just, like, talking outside, and you're saying how you've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
So let's kind of, like, go back a bit.
Okay,
When
cool.
did you actually start making music?
Started making music, let's say I was about 14, 15. Talking about, I'm 25 now, so about 10 years ago, started doing music for fun, for hobbies, it was just rapping for your friends. I was in a group called Gypset. We was doing like grime music and stuff. We kind of had a little name in South London for music and that. And then I fell off. I didn't really take it too serious. I kept on dibbling in and out of it. Do a song now, get a little buzz, fall back. Do a little song, get a little buzz, fall back. And in the group was me, Crept, Conan, and a guy called Reds. And obviously seeing my family's success and that, I thought, nah, music is the only thing that makes sense to me. Like I've done music for quite some time, but not taking it serious. And music is the only thing I love, innit? It's the only thing I care about. When I put two and two together, it's like I can have any job in the world, but if I don't love it, it's not gonna last, innit? I can be getting paid £1 million a month to log into a computer once a day on a certain time, and I promise you, if I don't love it, there's gonna be days where I'm not gonna feel like going to work. There's gonna be days where I'm gonna miss out on that £1 million or whatever it is. Music is the only thing I love, so it was the only thing that made sense actually going for. So
I want to talk about moving along, but you're talking about your producer.
yeah.
He's made the songs that brought you to prominence. Let's talk about that kind of relationship and how you guys actually first hooked up.
Like, well, his name is Mr. Wonder. He's sick, like. So how I met him initially was there was someone that was managing me. I had like another manager, but he wasn't really managing me seriously. I think he must have thought maybe like a bit more of as an investment rather than actually believing in my dream. You get me? And then he said, "Well, I got a producer. He's there. He can send you some beats. Like his beats are kind of sick." He sent me over a beat. I was like, "This beat's kind of sick." But again, it goes back to the thing where me not really taking music seriously, innit? So he's always seemed to be there if I needed beats, and the beats were sick. I just never had the drive and the passion to actually put some work into the beats. All his beats have always been sick. But let's say about a year ago now, 6-7 months ago, he sent me over some emotional beat, and it was just emotional. And I got given a project to talk really deeply, to keep it real, 100% brutally honest. And his beat was the first beat I've ever heard that allowed me to keep it brutally honest and kind of expose myself and keep it 100% real with myself. And to be honest with you, I haven't found that sound anywhere else. He's the only person and only producer that can bring that out of me. Like I said, I've been rapping for years, but it's only him that helped me walk down this avenue, do you know what I mean? So yeah, he's crazy.
What song would it have been?
It wasn't Visions. Visions was Slut. I can't remember the name of the beat was, or some like SBTV warm-up freestyle. I can't remember what the name of the beat is. But he's sick with samples, and I like to think I got a bit of a soulful soul in it. So the soulfulness, like it's music. There's a difference between tunes and bars and music. Do you know what I mean? So he allowed me to have that same essence that you would hear from like a singer. Do you know what I mean? Like that emotion, and he allowed me to do that through grime of all genres and that, which was crazy. I can't remember the name of the beat was, But when he goes ham with it and puts his soul into it. It's crazy. I feel like if I wasn't talking 100% truth, I'd be doing a disjustice to the beat.
Yeah, like you said, you're very, I won't even say heart on the sleeve, I think it's a bit more than that. Is it therapeutic when you're making those type of tracks?
Yeah, like, in fact, I'll tell you a quick story. Me and my dad, we used to go counselling because our relationship was terrible. Like, I've got a song out there called Behind Bars. It's about a quick little story. Is about he was a drug addict before, but he was my father, so he wasn't really around in my life quite a lot. And then what happened was when he came back around, obviously when he got himself better and he came back around, I was at probably like high teenage ages, something like I don't need a father, blah 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 blah. And then so we're working on a relationship, but it come to like a brick wall, and it got to a stage where we was going counselling to see if there's anything more we can add to our relationship, or whether our relationship is just a dead relationship. So we was going counselling now, and then we was trying to just digging deep into these subjects and whatever like that. And I couldn't cry, like I'm not really that emotional. Like, I am emotional, but I couldn't cry in the counselling sessions. Like I couldn't really open up. And then one they sent me a beat now, and then I wrote to the beat, and I wrote to the beat about the subject. Like I wrote about the problems again that me and my father had, about how much I love him now, about how I felt about him not being there. And that was the first time I probably almost cried. But by writing, I couldn't cry when I was talking about it, but when I was writing, that was my therapy. You know what I mean? That helped so much. And I managed to put the story out there, and it helped a lot of other people as well. But also it helped me because now it's like I'm over it now. It's like once I've written it down, once I've managed to get it out with the emotion that I need to get out with, it's like, okay, that page is turned now. So it's so therapeutic. It helps me address situations that I really do need to address in it. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, hearing that's one thing that black people in general don't go counselling. I know.
Yeah,
like,
no, they don't. They don't.
Go counselling. Yeah, go to church or whatever. It's just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, whose idea was it to go counselling?
My father's. My father's a really intelligent man. You know, he's really wise. And see, for me, I had that same mentality you're talking about. I was there like, I'm not gonna sit down there and pay for a woman to just listen and tell me the same thing I can tell my friends or whatever like that. But it was so helpful. I can't lie, it was so helpful. The counsellor, she's a wonderful woman, and it helped. Like it was his idea saying, let's give it a shot. He said counselling has helped him. Of course, being an addict like he had to go through a lot of stages. He got what's it called? Rehab you got to go through, then you got to go through like counselling to almost get your mind right, also like getting your body right and everything like that. So he saw the positive effects of that. So he said, no, this is actually going to make sense. And I can't lie, he was right. It helped an incredible amount. That's crazy.
I mean, how did that affect you? Because I know when we hear songs, we're hearing the recap, but actually at the time,
going through it.
What was it like going through it?
Obviously, when I was going through it, I was kind of ignorant. Like I was young. I was kind of young and dumb, and I was kind of on the road. So I was like, oh, if my dad ain't around, I don't need him around. Do you know what I mean? Like I didn't really care much. It obviously did have an effect on me, but I couldn't really care that much. I was like, forget it. I'm my own man. Like, do you know what I mean? I could do things for myself now. But going counselling helped me realise about being a man. It's about taking responsibility in it. So like I always used to say to my dad, if you ain't been around in my life, yeah, you got to put in 70% to build this relationship, and I got to put in 30% because you ain't been around, so you have to put in that. But going through counselling and then going through life, like so that was how I was feeling when I was looking from being on the inside. Be it from the outside and looking back, to build a relationship, it's got to be 50-50. Like, as much as you got to be a good father, I got to be here to be a good son. Like, a perfect example, my dad would never be the first person to say, yo, I love you, but he will definitely say, I love you back. Do you know what I'm saying? So I've got to be the one to put my 50% in order for him to put his 50% in. But it's just about learning and just, you know what I mean? Just learning and going through these situations, and it does the situation that helped me put this kind of real emotion into my bars and keep it real with myself, because you have to know yourself in order for me to be able to put my 50% in.
Obviously the song that, like we were talking before, Stereotype.
Yeah.
It's obvious, like usually I'll say like, I ask people their deepest songs and this and that, but with you it's a bit difficult, like which one will be, it's like, it could be this, it could be that.
Yeah.
It's just different, you know, sides of the equation.
Yeah.
But Stereotype, why would you feel comfortable to say that publicly? And is that also based on the fact that you just want the whole counselling thing, just being able to talk to someone probably you don't know about your feelings?
Like, it's about knowing myself. So I'm really comfortable in my skin. You know? Like, I really am pretty comfortable in my skin. Before I wasn't. So I'd hide certain things. Like certain realities with myself, I'd hide them. But you need to own the mistakes you've made and also the good things you've made in order to move on. You have to know where you're at in life, the bad decisions you've made. You've got to own them. It's not about the bad decisions, it's about how you own your situations. So being really comfortable in my skin, it just helped me just talk about the situations I'm going through, because I may be able to bring something to light that you may not be able to handle. So a lot of Stereotype was about me, let's say, not checking for my mum and not knowing why I don't check for my mum. I've got friends that don't check for their mum, but because they don't address it, it's like, oh, I'll forget it. And next thing you know, 2 years have turned by and you haven't checked for your mum. Or I've got things where I'm saying, my nan, I know all my nan wants from me is a phone call, but I don't do it, but I don't know why I don't do it. I just end up not doing it. And next thing you know, but I know if she passed away, I'm going to be kicking myself because I never picked up the phone once, and that's all she really wanted from me. And if I can put those things on the table and then help somebody else be a better person maybe to their nan, make them that hearing my tune has now made you phone your nan that one extra time before she passes away, and you manage to close that door. Or like, for example, I've got a line in there where I say talking about my little brother, and I say, I've become that big bro, so stereotypical, buy you all the trainers, but I won't sit and cool. I said, it's kind of like a black issue where I'll buy you the football boots, but I'll never find time to kick the ball with you. And it's like, a lot of people go through them situations. And I know if I can put that across, talking about my situation, a father may hear that now and phone his son for that one extra time and then spend more time with his son now. Or a big brother might spend more time with his little brother now. Or it might just help you, may twinge that thing on your neck to make you go ahead and be a better person to your family, innit? So it's just about being honest and I know myself, and I'm not ashamed of my bad things anymore. Like, if I've got bad credit, I'm not ashamed about having bad credit. It's more about me building on this now. So it's more about you having a bad situation and doing something about it. All the things I address in the situation about being the stereotype, that guy with a nice car but driving it to his mum's house. Yeah, I fit in that stereotype. But there's nothing wrong with fitting in a stereotype. It's about turning it around. Like, for example, you know how people say, well, the black timing is always late. That's the stereotype, and that's fine if we're in that situation now, but how about we all change it and then we all end up being early for once, or early for the rest of our lives, and then now that stereotype will be, oh, black people's on time. It's just about changing that and building something else.
And I think with your music, you're still amongst the people, but it is leadership.
Okay, thanks, man.
It's showing leadership, and I think that's quite key. We don't have any real leadership or direction.
Yeah.
I think all that you said is kind of like, well, this is what we know that we say that we are.
Yeah.
And sometimes we're just comfortable with it. And then there's a point where it's like, but actually there's a next level.
Yeah,
You know
100%.
what I mean? There's a next level of doing things. Let's talk a bit about, like I said to you, like I like the way that you guys are moving on the business tip.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I like the way that, I looked at the website, just like, you come here, all you gotta do is hand over your email. Something good's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Explain to me about making all these business decisions, also dropping an EP where other people may say, no, you gotta drop a free mixtape, and what's the response been like that?
Well, first of all credit on the business end goes to my manager, because I'll be real with you. Like, I'm kind of all kind of street business, so and without him, it's him that knows about business. You get me? So without him, I probably wouldn't have made half of the moves that I've made. But I can't lie. I'm grateful I've had someone like him to be able to teach me and to learn me into these things in order to do this or to do that, which is going to make sense in order to create, like you're saying, great business. The response from it has been really good, because him being able to teach me these things, it separates me from also being a street artist into actually being an actual artist. It's like what artists do. For example, most street artists tend to think to themselves, buzz, drop a free mixtape, drop another free mixtape, my name needs to be circling in the streets. But it's not necessarily about your name circling in the streets. Like, how we see it from a business point of view, in order for music to be my career, maybe it's not so much about me being circulating in the streets, but my name circulating around amongst the right people. Do you know what I'm saying? It's about just taking it to that next level, and with all credit definitely goes to him with it. And again, it has been received very well. Like, I've done a street level thing for quite some time now, and just taking it into corporate, into business. Like, it's something I do for a hobby out of love, but the end goal for me is to be able to live my life doing something that I love, which tends to be on music. Of course, bills need to be paid, houses need to be paid for, I've got to look after my family. So there has to be a business aspect to it. And I can't lie, he's guided me through that wonderfully, like ridiculously. And it's been received pretty well, man.
You know what's key? Saying that is, and I heard you before we started, you were talking, it's the narrative I keep hearing is like, music, career.
Yeah.
It's like a career.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do this almost forever.
Yeah.
What do you feel it'll take for that to fully manifest?
I think it's down to me. Like, a lot of people, it depends on how serious you take it. Like, for example, some people will take, you talk to somebody that works in a 9 to 5 in a place that they don't want to be, and they'll tell you this is my job. Or you talk to someone who loves what they do and then tell you it's their career. It's not even how long you're there for, it's also almost how much time you intend to spend there. If I'm not doing a part-time job, I say, oh, this is just a little job. But if I know I'm going to be here for the rest of my life, I say, well, this is what I do for a living, this is my career. And I intend to make music my career. It's the only thing I love. It's the only thing I love doing. It's the only. I remember seeing Sister Act 2, yeah, and there's a part of Whoopi Goldberg. I think she's talking to Lauryn Hill, and she says, "Well, I want to be a singer." And then there's a book, and the book says, "How do you be an author?" Something about how to be an author. And then she says, if you wake up in the morning every day and you sing, then you're a singer. If you wake up in the morning every day and you write, then you're a writer. So don't ask me how to be a writer, or don't ask me how to be a singer. And I've had jobs back to back to back to back to back. I've worked in almost every place you can imagine. And the only thing I keep doing is writing. It's the only thing that I've been doing. So I'm a writer, so it just makes sense in trying to transition it into a career. That's a beautiful life if I can, when I have children, if I can look after my children, if I can look after my family, if I can pay for things that need to be paid for, and the avenue be doing what I love, there's no better feeling than that. That's heaven on earth for me. So, and the only way I'm going to do that is if I approach it with the right mind frame. I can't approach it with the street mind frame. I've got to approach it with the business mind frame in order to make things last, innit?
What do you think the street mind frame is? I mean, I wouldn't say we're all from the streets, but we all from the same kind of space.
Yeah.
What do you feel is different in that street mind frame?
So the street mind frame for me, it tends to be almost living day by day or living month by month. For example, I can make, let's say, 20 grand today, but I'm not thinking about how I'm going to keep 20 grand. Or I can make 20 grand today, but I'm not thinking about how I'm going to make 20 grand in 3 months' time. It's about how you do day by day, which is why you see a lot of street artists, they do song buzz by buzz. So one song will have a mad buzz, calm, I'm living, but they have nothing planned after that. And then the next song they do is another mad buzz. And then all they do is just they're known from buzz to buzz to buzz, but there's no longevity in it. Whereas the business mind frame is, if you go to anyone that's starting a business, the first thing they're going to tell you is probably their 3-year plan. The first time talks about any business, at least a 6-month plan, something they have planned, not just to get you from, not just to make money today, but how to continually make money and how to continually be living a lifestyle. I can show you so many rappers that make money from shows, but that's it. It's just, I got a show today, that's how much money I'm making today. And I can also show you a musician who's talking about how things are set up for the next 6 months, how their music is set up, what they have planned in the works. And every business, it's no plan to fail is a plan to, or whatever it is about. You have to have a plan, otherwise it's not going to work. Do you know what I mean? So that's the difference between the street man frame and the corporate man frame.
Labels, are they buzzing now?
They are. They're kind of buzzing.
They're buzzing.
They are buzzing.
Ruben having to take some meetings now and that.
But more time I can't get hold of him. No, it is buzzing, isn't it? But that's not our focus in the slightest. Labels is great. Obviously, labels are coming from the streets. We seem to associate labels with making it. Do you know what I mean? But that's not the case. It's about doing what you can for yourself, and then maybe ask for the extra help. There's no point me asking you for your help if you can help me with something I can do by myself organically. It's about them being that stepping stone, but at no point if I can make all the steps myself.
So it's more like leverage. If we are going to do it, then it's about having as much control, having as much.
Yeah, but it's also about you being able to add on to what I have. It's no point me just joining you just to say I'm signed, but then it doesn't actually mean anything. I can get signed to Arsenal tomorrow and get paid a penny a week. It doesn't make a difference about being signed. It's about, do you know what I mean? It's about it actually meaning something. And if we can do for ourselves, then we will do for ourselves. But if it gets to a point where we can actually use the helping hand, then that's what we'll do.